Have you ever stopped and wondered, why don't I just eat cake for breakfast? Or what is it that makes you actually go to the gym when your couch is practically screaming your name? Well, the answer is this amazing skill we all have called self-regulation. And believe me, it's way, way deeper than just plain old willpower. Let's get into it. All right, here's our game plan. First up, we're going to talk about that daily battle for self-control that we all fight. Then, we're going to take a peek inside your brain to see what's actually going on in there. After that, we'll explore how our world literally shapes us. And then, the best part, we'll get into a whole toolkit of practical strategies and figure out how to make these skills last a lifetime. So let's start with something we all know, something we feel every single day, that constant tug of war between what feels good right now and what we know is probably better for us down the road. No, I mean, seriously, think about this for a second. For most of us, there is nothing physically stopping you, right? The cake is there, the fork is there, you're not going to get arrested, but we don't do it. And that simple everyday choice, that is self-regulation in action. It's this invisible force that's steering our decisions all day long. Okay, so what exactly is it? Well, the key thing to get here is that self-regulation isn't just about gritting your teeth and resisting a donut. It's so much bigger than that. It's about being able to line up your actions with who you want to be and what you truly value. It's the ability to feel one way, but choose to act another, all in service of your future self. So how on earth does our brain pull this off? Well, to really get it, we've got to go inside. And you can think of it like this epic power struggle happening in your head between a really thoughtful CEO and the super jumpy alarm system. So on one side, you've got your brain's CEO, the prefrontal cortex. This part is slow, it's logical, it thinks about consequences. Then, on the other side, you've got the amygdala, your body's alarm system. It is lightning fast, totally emotional, and it's responsible for those gut reactions, fight or flight. And these two, they are in a constant, delicate dance for who gets to be in charge. So, what throws a wrench in this whole system? Stress. When we get stressed out, our body releases hormones like cortisol, and you can think of it as a chemical hijacker. It basically walks right into the CEO's office, the prefrontal cortex, and shuts it down. Then it runs over to the alarm system and pours gasoline on the fire. This is literally why it feels impossible to think clearly when you're super anxious or totally overwhelmed. But here's the twist. Not all stress is bad. There's actually a sweet spot, what scientists call the inverted U. If you have too little stress or arousal, you're kind of sleepy and unfocused. But with a moderate amount, your brain's CEO is on top of its game. You're sharp, you're engaged. But push it too far into that high stress zone, and your performance totally tanks as that alarm system just takes over everything. It's also super important to see that self-regulation is built like a skyscraper. At the very top, on the penthouse floor, you have your cognitive control, your CEO. But that whole floor is resting on a foundation of everything below it, your emotions, your behaviors, your basic physical state. So if that foundation is shaky, like if you're sick or exhausted, your ability to use that top-level thinking just crumbles. It's all connected from the ground up. And get this, that foundation isn't fixed when we're born. Not at all. Our life experiences, especially the ones we have when we're young, are literally the construction crew that builds the regulatory systems in our brain. Your brain isn't just born, it's built. This is one of the most famous sayings in all of neuroscience, and for good reason. It means that every single time you have an experience, the brain cells involved fire up, and the connection between them gets a tiny bit stronger. And when you repeat that experience over and over, you're not just strengthening a connection, you're paving a super fast highway in your brain. You're wiring in your default reactions. So, what if those early experiences are really stressful or unpredictable? Well, the brain does what it's supposed to do. It adapts. It makes those alarm system pathways extra strong, extra sensitive, and extra fast. Now, that's a brilliant survival strategy in a dangerous environment, but it can mean that the alarm gets triggered way more easily, even when the danger's long gone. And this brings us to this really powerful idea of hidden talents. What one person might see as being overly sensitive or reactive is actually a highly developed skill. Think about it. Being able to detect a shift in someone's mood from a tiny facial cue isn't a flaw. It's an incredible survival skill that may have kept you safe. The challenge is just that these amazing survival skills can feel out of place when you're finally in a safer world. Okay, we have covered the science, the what, and the why. Now, let's get to the really good part, the how. Let's open up a practical toolkit that you can start using today to actively work with your own regulatory system. All right, if you remember nothing else, remember this. This is the golden rule. When your alarm system is blaring and your body is flooded with stress hormones, your rational CEO brain is offline. Period. You cannot reason your way out of a fire alarm. The very first step, always, is to calm your body's physical stress response. And the most direct way to do that, it's simple, it's free, and you can do it anywhere. Belly breathing. So you're going to inhale slowly through your nose, really let your belly push out. But now, here's the secret sauce. Make your exhale through your mouth longer than your inhale. That long exhale is the magic button. It sends a direct signal to your nervous system that says, hey, we're safe, and it physically kicks on your body's built-in relaxation system. Looking for other ways to hit that relaxation button? You can directly stimulate something called your vagus nerve. Think of it as the superhighway for calm in your body. And honestly, the ways to do it are kind of weird and fun. You can try loud gargling or singing at the top of your lungs. A good foot massage works. Even just splashing your face with cold water or having a really good, genuine belly laugh can activate this critical nerve and bring on the calm. Now, let's talk about mindfulness. The point isn't to stop negative thoughts. I mean, good luck with that, right? The point is to change your relationship with them. Mindfulness teaches you how to notice a thought or a feeling, look at it without judging it, and this is key, create a little bit of space so that it doesn't have to automatically hijack your alarm system. You can also use physical tools to help you out. Deep pressure, like the kind you get from a heavy weighted blanket, can have this incredibly calming, grounding effect on the entire nervous system. It's a direct, bottom-up way to soothe that physical stress we were talking about and help dial down feelings of anxiety. So now you have the tools, but the real transformation happens when we stop just using them in a moment of crisis and start weaving them into our daily lives, turning self-regulation into a genuine, consistent habit. And what's so cool is just how many different strategies we have to choose from. Of course, there are the ones we do on our own, the internal stuff like breathing or meditation, but look at that second category, the ones focused on others. Reaching out to a friend, sharing a joke, working on a project together, these are all powerful acts of what scientists call co-regulation. We aren't meant to do this alone. Our connections with other people are one of the most powerful regulatory tools we have. So, if you take one big idea away from all of this, let it be this. Self-regulation has nothing to do with being a good or bad person. It is not a test of your character. It's a biological system. And it's a skill, a dynamic, living system inside you that you have the power to influence, to train, and to strengthen with the right practice. And please, let this one sink in for a minute. You are not your automatic thoughts. You are not your knee-jerk impulses. Those are just old, well-worn pathways in your brain. And by practicing these skills, you learn that you can stand back, observe those patterns, and choose a different path. You get to decide. So I will leave you with a question. After everything we've talked about, from the brain's alarm system to the power of a long, slow exhale, what is one small strategy, just one thing, that you will try today to start building your own self-regulation skills? Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer.